Cindy Anthony, pressing her daughter, wants to know where Kaylee Anthony is. At this point, Casey tells her, well, we're back in town. I have a late meeting. I'm going to meet up with Jeff Hopkins. He's in Orlando, and we're going to stay with him at the Hard Rock Hotel. Now, there is a Jeff Hopkins that is an acquaintance of Casey Anthony, except that he wasn't in Orlando on June 27th, and he wasn't at the Hard Rock Hotel. And he didn't have contact with Casey Anthony. Jesse Grunn, you will hear, is a former fiance of Casey Anthony who had contact with her that day. He inquires after Kaylee, and she tells Jesse Grunn she's with the nanny. Amy Huizenga inquires about Kaylee, and she tells Amy Huizenga that Kaylee is at the beach. So on Friday, June 27th of 2008, where is Kaylee Anthony? Days 13 and 14, Sunday, June 28th and June 29th, the weekend. Again, Casey Anthony is telling her mother she's at the Hard Rock Hotel. Her cell phone records tell a different story. She's at Tony's. They're going to the movies. They rent a video at Blockbuster. Day 15, Monday, June 30th of 2008, Tony Lazzaro had a pre-planned trip to New York, where he's from. So Casey Anthony takes him to the airport, and he allows her full use of his car. Hers is still at the Amsco, where it's been since Friday, next to the dumpster. But not for long. The manager at Amscot, you will learn, called the tow company, because this car is sitting in their lot next to the dumpster, and no one's come to claim it or get it or say anything about it. So Johnson's Wrecker, a local tow company, comes and tows Casey Anthony's white Pontiac Sunfire to their lot on Narcoossee Road in South Orlando, where it stays until July 15th of 2008. On June 30th, while Casey Anthony's in Tony's car and her car is being towed to Johnson's Wrecker, she goes to Target with Amy Huizenga and is captured on video. No Kaylee Anthony. She goes to the JCPenney's at Fashion Square Mall. No Kaylee Anthony on that video. She's back at Target before 9 o'clock that night. No Kaylee Anthony. Cindy Anthony, once again, pressing, pushing, wants to know, where's my granddaughter? And Casey Anthony tells her, again, that she's working late, and now Kaylee is with somebody named Jennifer Rosa, who is supposed to be a relative or a roommate of Zanny. And you will hear that Casey Anthony tells her mother, we're going to be staying with these people until July 3rd. And she tells her mother that Jennifer, Rosa, and Kaylee are going to go to Universal Studios. You will hear from the testimony in this case that the week of June 30th of 2008, all the way through the 4th of July weekend, Cindy Anthony was on vacation. And being on vacation, she wanted to spend time with her granddaughter, Kaylee, who at this point she has now not seen for over 2 weeks. So on Tuesday, July 1st, day 16, Cindy Anthony begins to insistently call Casey. On July 1st, with her boyfriend, Tony, now in New York, Casey Anthony doesn't have a place to stay. She's been staying with Tony for the last 2 weeks. So at 9 o'clock in the morning or so, she shows up at the apartment of her former fiancé, Jesse Grunge, to take a shower. By 4 or 5 that afternoon, she's back at a JCPenney with her friend Amy. That evening, there are multiple calls from the Anthony household to Casey Anthony's cell phone trying to get a hold of her. You will learn that on that day, Casey Anthony went to the Ale House, which is a restaurant bar here in Orlando, with some guy friends she has. Cindy Anthony begins texting about where's Kaylee. And Casey Anthony tells her that Kaylee's at the park with this Jennifer Rosa. This pattern continues into Wednesday, July 2nd, day 17, where there were multiple attempts to call Casey Anthony from the Anthony home on Hope Spring. When Amy Huizenga asks Casey Anthony, where's Kaylee? She tells her she's with a nanny. And while all of that is going on around Casey Anthony, she makes an appointment to get a tattoo. She goes to Ross to buy some clothes or shoes. She goes to a nightclub called Voyage, another one called Mako, and then ultimately spends the night at Amy and Amy's roommate Ricardo's apartment. You will hear from the testimony and the evidence in this case that on day 18, Thursday, July 3rd, Cindy Anthony has had about enough of this. Again, she's on vacation. She's making multiple calls to Casey Anthony. Since Casey had said Kaylee's going to be at Universal Studios at a character breakfast, Cindy gets in her own car and drives to Universal Studios. She wants to see Kaylee. And when she gets there, calls her daughter, I'm here at Universal Studios. I want to pick up Kaylee. Words to that effect. Casey Anthony says, we're in Jacksonville. Jeffrey Hopkins, the guy that we were at the Hard Rock with, well, he's from Jacksonville, so we're going to hang out in Jacksonville for a while. You will hear from the testimony. Cindy Anthony is beside herself. That night, Cindy Anthony creates a MySpace page that she titles, "My Kaylee is Missing," and writes a paragraph or more about her thoughts and feelings. Her Kaylee was missing.